You're addicted to being comfortable. You're addicted to everything. Everything that makes your life feel right to you. But somehow you know this is not the life you want. You know deep down this is not the life you want, right? You're worth more than what your life is currently giving you. What you're currently giving yourself, actually. Okay? Most of you guys have a burning desire to be better in life, right? You have this vision, whatever that vision is, it could be anything, right? You have this sense of self that you want to achieve, you want to, bring to light one day, right? You don't want to just have it as a dream. You want this to be reality, all right? And for like years on end, you've been still trying to get to that dream or just make it reality. But sometimes you kind of push it away, not intentionally, but it's because life goes on, right? Life keeps giving you all these distractions. And I'm here to really kind of tell you that, like, usually when you get caught up in distractions and when you usually get caught up in just how life is kind of controlling you and you're not in control of your life, you become comfortable with this. You start to get in a routine where you're kind of trying to juggle so much things in your life and you're not really paying attention to yourself, and you kind of lose a sense of yourself. You kind of just lose who you are in a sense. And it's like you're almost trying to it's like a fighting battle. It's like a tug of war. Like you're trying to pull yourself more to yourself to really get to where you want to be, but then life keeps drawing you back. So then you're kind of caught up in the middle. You're trying to find a way where you can have the strength and the power to really pull to you. And that's usually what you want. You want to find your power to where you're uncomfortable, right? And that's what most people don't understand is being uncomfortable in your life is what's gonna set you apart from most people, because most people, they like routines. They like staying in the same routine forever. They like to be comfortable. They like to just do one thing for a certain amount of years and then go home, repeat. And to me, that's not life. Doing something over and over and over, and especially when you know it's not fulfilling in your heart and your mind and your body and your soul, that's the definition of insanity, right? Because you know deep down this is not what you want to do, and you're quite doing it and you're okay with it. So you're telling me that you would rather clock into work to a job you hate, knowing that you want more in your life. So that means you're addicted to this lifestyle. You're so comfortable, even though it's so weird how people do it, because you're comfortable, but you're comfortable of being uncomfortable in the situation you're in. So that doesn't even make any sense. So you're already, you know that you're uncomfortable because you don't want to do this job, but you're so comfortable enough to not even do anything about it. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. Because at least you're self aware enough to even know that you don't want to do this and you don't want this to be your life, even though at least you know that. Because most people are not, they're not self aware. Most people, they don't care. They're not gonna do anything, right? They're just gonna just go about their day and just, like I said, just repeat the process. Um, and that's not how you should be living your life. You should want yourself to have at least more purpose, something to where it's at least getting you to where you want to be. At least like YouTube videos, right? That's why I like making YouTube videos, because this is what I want. This is my purpose. I have to make YouTube videos, not because I'm forcing myself. No, because I love it. I love making YouTube videos. But whatever the case may be, whatever you have to do to get to that point where you're climbing to your purpose, you're climbing to the next goal. You have to do it. You need to break all these habits and unprogram yourself to a certain way of living, because that's what it is. You programmed yourself to a certain way of living, and now you have to deprogram yourself. You need to break down the system, break down the machine. Tell your subconscious mind this is not how we're gonna be living life anymore. We want different. We want a better life. We want a different life. So we got to do a lot. We got to do a lot of working and a lot of self conceptualizing. Did I say that right? Yes, I probably did. Listen, it is 1:24 a.m., so bear with me. But you guys need to do a deep dive in your mind. Your mind is so important, right? Because 99% of your life will be mentality. It will, right? Um Maybe 90%, right? But 90, like I said, it's more mentality than anything, right? Because if you generally believe that being comfortable in this situation is going to be fine for you for right now, don't be surprised when 5 to 10 years later down the line, you're like, damn, why is my life not changed? Because you didn't do anything. You felt that if you just played it safe, you felt that if you just played it safe and just, just chilled for a couple of years, keep your head down, don't really care as much, just do the bare minimum for yourself. You thought that was going to really do anything. You see, the thing about winners is you have to actually go and do the work. You actually got to create something. You actually got to do something. And this has nothing to do with money. Nothing to do with money. This is solely about yourself. You have to get up and create something. You can't just snap your finger, tell yourself, oh, it's going to happen. Well, yeah, you can manifest things in this world. Yes, you can. But at the end of the day, you still got to get up and do it. So it's really up to you of how you want to do these things. For me, I've been comfortable in my life before, but I woke up, right? I didn't just stay there. I actually had to do the work, right? And I wouldn't even say I was comfortable, actually. I would just feel like I wasn't putting in enough action, because I always knew that I wanted more for myself. So I wouldn't even say I was comfortable. But there's a lot of people, even at my job, even any job you work, right? There's gonna always be those old heads, right? And they're always comfortable with the same routine. They all would be like, hey, I've been working here for 50 years, 30 years, 40 years, however long they've been working at that job. Like it's some flex. Listen, I'm not saying everybody has to be like some, you know, they want to like some achiever where they want to more for themselves, or they want to like get up to this type of lifestyle. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is don't sell yourself short. If you know that somebody is living a life that you don't want to live, and they're telling you to do what, to give you, they're giving you advice on life, and you're just comfortable with taking that advice, then something's wrong. Why would I take advice from someone who's not in the position where I want to be in? That don't make no sense. Now, yes, they can give you some life advice or anything, but never let people tell you how you should live your life, right? And most people they have that urgency in them to change their life, but they just don't really um, take the next step because they're lazy, right? They rather just sit on their ass and do nothing. And that's what's killing most people. And I'm not saying like you have to bust your ass 24/7. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. No, no, no. But what I am saying is that if you can give 8 hours to your job, why can't you give at least a couple of minutes to yourself, a couple of hours to yourself? Because you're more important, you're more valuable than anything else in this world. So if you're more valuable than anything else in this world, why don't you think putting effort into yourself will reward you and give you the life that you want for yourself? Because like I said, once you get to that point where you have everything, you have everything. You created that life for yourself. So even if you do get there and then you lose it, you can get it back because you did it from scratch. You did it from this. You started from here, your mind, your body, your soul, your heart. That's where you started from. That's all you had. All you had to do was also put the work in too and be creative and do what you got to do. So no one can take this from you. No one can take this from you. So at the end of the day, I want y'all to be uncomfortable. Expose yourself to the unknown. And I promise you, you will go places. I'll catch you on the next video.